Okay, thank you everybody for taking time out of your busy schedule to participate in today's LTCT meeting. Um, I know all of you guys are busy and hopefully today will be fruitful for everybody. Um, so during this, and then my name is Sam Kwan with Oregon Department of Ed for LTCT, and something got added onto my plate. Pediatric nursing facility that's in the Providence facility in Portland. So um, yes. Um, Kimberly, share. I don't know if you accidentally you're sharing your screen. You took over the GoToMeeting. Okay. Um, Let me go back. Okay, there. Okay. Okay. So okay. So yes. Um, so today's yes. And during this time of distance remote working, please call my cell phone number, not my desk line. I'm still receiving some calls on my desk line, so feel free to call my cell phone. It's here, and then if I can, I will pick up. If I can't, I won't pick up. So feel free to email me or call my cell phone. And then, just as a disclaimer, if you email me, um, all of my emails are they have to be reviewed. I can't immediately respond. So if you call me, you can get a quicker response. So all of my emails have to be reviewed. Just like yeah, in this time where they want accurate information going out. Okay. So without further ado, so next for next year, as previously we stated, these are our next LTCT meeting dates for next year, but we might call a summer session in meeting if when the budget and finances has been determined. So yeah, those are the dates. But then right now, here's a discussion. I'm going to unmute everybody. Technically, consistently, whenever we did our Title I decounts, we did 6 dates, and whenever I did it, the dates were always highest in April. Okay, so, but then of course, this year, with a lot of sites closing right before spring break on March 13th, should we have dates from January through March? What are people's thoughts?
January through March. About what? I don't know for sure.
Because I'm thinking a lot of your enrollments have gone down for the month of May and April. So, what are people's thoughts? And everyone is unmuted. Have people seen their counts drop? Enrollment counts?
Sam, this is Chris Betneski out in Pendleton. We have not seen our counts drop. We've continued to try to distance learning and done some teletherapy and things like that with our students.
And this is Jody with Morrison. We haven't seen ours drop, and our kids are coming into our day treatment.
Okay, thank you.
Candace from the Child Center, and we have maintained the same number and actually have added a few this summer or this spring.
Sam and Sarah. Oh, sorry.
This is Jean Orr with LVLESD. We have not seen our numbers drop either.
It's Sarah Davis with LTCT at MESD, and we haven't seen our numbers drop either.
This is Tim with Next Door. We haven't seen our numbers drop either. We've actually increased some.
This is Susan Peck down at Southern Oregon ESD. We have not seen a drop. We're pretty much maintaining at Family Solutions and Kairos.
Okay, thank you,
Ryan,
everybody.
Sam, we're at Douglas ESD, and our numbers are staying the same. Well, a classroom having to shut down, but for the 2 classrooms, it'll be staying the same.
Okay. Any other feedback? So it sounds like we should keep these dates then.
I agree with that.
Okay. Anyone else?
I can agree with that.
Okay. 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 So okay. So okay, yeah, because I didn't want to make that decision unilaterally. I wanted a discussion and everyone's feedback. Because for YSEP JDEP, it is totally different. Our numbers have dropped tremendously. So okay. So thank you. Thank you for everyone's feedback. We'll just keep the dates the same then for your Title 1D counts. We'll collect the counts again in November. And then once we tally up and determine the date with the highest enrollment, that'll be our date that we send in to US DOE for our Title 1D allocations. Okay. Anything else before I mute everybody? Okay. Okay. Everyone is muted. Next, agenda items. Okay, so fiscal updates. One, our 1920 fiscal amounts are set. There's no plans right now to adjust your 1920 amounts. That's one. Two, for now, unused 1920 Oregon and federal funds will carry over into 2021. I've had quite a few people asking about that. So if you have unused balance of Oregon and Fed funds, right now it'll carry over into 2021. But then, of course, from 2021, none of that will carry over into the 21-23 biennial. Now, there are certain there's some uncertainties and it's to be determined. As all of you know, I use our unused 1719 or cash balance to supplement our general fund and our state school fund amount to go beyond our allocation. But then I don't know what the legislature, the governor, we haven't gotten any indication whether they're going to sweep our unused 1719 funds away. So yeah, so there's some uncertainty of that. So we don't know. There's a lot has to be determined, and the legislature and the governor, they have a huge task of balancing the overall state budget. So if they do take away some of our cash balance, then our amount for 2021 would definitely not be at our previous amounts. Okay, that's then the next. During the spring, Adam Henning and I, we worked on 2 legislative concepts, one for LTCT and one for JDEP YSEP. And we've gotten word that both our legislative concepts will most likely not pass or make it past the governor's office because of the budget situation. And of course, for LTCT, it was asking for more monies for expansion of new sites. And for JDEP YSEP, it was asking for additional funding for the JDEP and YSEP supplements for smaller sites. So we've got to word that those 2 LCs most likely will not make it out because of the budget situation. And we are right now looking at getting seeing if LTCT hospitals, JDIP and YSIP qualify for ESSSER funds. Those are federal funds given to, I guess, ODE to send out to school districts and LEAs. So we're looking to see if LTCT hospitals, JDIP and YSIP can qualify for some of those funds. And then if we do qualify, they may come through the LTCT contract, or whether they go through the school district, or whether we don't know how it's going to come. Like for instance, for Springfield, they have Jasper Mountain and Lowell. We don't know if the funding for Jasper Mountain and Lowell will go to Lowell School District, or if it'll come to us to Springfield via our agreement contract. They're still looking at the guidance USDOE has said, whether it has to go to the LDA or not. So we're looking at that, and as soon as we have concrete information, we'll send that out. So and I don't even know the acronym, what the full acronym is for. So it's ESSSER. We're trying to look for as much funds as possible for all of our programs. Okay, next, people have asked the status on the application of new sites. It's still on hold. We don't know yet whether it's going to go or not, because in these types of fiscal situations, it's hard to justify an expansion when there's numbers, when funding is shrinking. Next, summer school and ESY for LTCT. The other day I sent out an email with this guidance. Hopefully you can see the guidance on section 4 and so forth. So talks about for LTCT, some of our sites, it's not called summer school, it's called lengthening of the school year, when you go beyond your 180 to have education during this June, July, summer months. If your LTCT allocation allows for it, that's fine. And you can use Title 1D funds because that's supplemental, because you're not supplanting. So that's fine. So for some of you that have this option, you can. And here's the dates and so forth. And I'm going to unmute everybody to see if there's any questions or comments so far. Everyone should be unmuted.
And this is Candace from the Child Center. We are planning on doing some extension into the summer. We have the year-round program, but we're beefing up the education piece of it this year because of the position the kids are in from not being in school. My question is about transportation. We're going to be doing all of our programs on campus for kids who are able to social distance. So it will be mainly the older kids and not the younger kids. But will transportation be available from the districts for this?
Yes, according to the statute and according to previous guidance, the resident district, the district where the student is living, or as a resident district, still has to provide transportation during the summer months. Yes, Candace.
Thank you.
Tim, this is Susan Peck from Southern Oregon ESD. My question is that the licensed staff work their 190-day contract. Can title funds be used for supplementary activities during the summer without having licensed staff on campus in residential programs?
The question, I'm pretty sure yes. Yes, I'm pretty sure yes.
Thank you.
As long as there's educational services, yes. But then they'll also, like, the educational aides have to be supervised by license. There's that, I think it's Division 37, OER and so forth. So, yeah.
So maybe I'll talk with you offline, Sam, because we don't have any licensed staff working in the summer.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, so okay, so I'm gonna mute everybody again. Okay. Okay. So now actions by ODE monitoring for 1921 will be all desk monitoring. With the situation it is right now, Adam Henning and I for YSEP and LTCT, we will not be doing in-person monitoring. It'll be all desk monitoring. So as I previously shared, the monitoring tool is here. I sent this out earlier. So we'll probably send out again. You would just have to complete and it'll be on an honor system where you would have to say yes, no, and so forth. But then you would also have to have your acceptable evidence. And then I'm not anticipating us collecting the acceptable evidence or those binders. But then you should have it on hand if we do come or if someone comes to visit. So yes, for next year, for this agreement period for 1920 and 2021, we will not be doing in-person site visits monitoring. We'll be doing desk monitoring. I know some of you are very disappointed. I'm very disappointed, but that's just, yeah, unfortunately, that's how it, because of the situation. Next, we all know that we have Let's Go Learn for online assessment tool that JDEP, LTCT, and YSEP uses. And we're working on another RFP for online learning. But now I think what we're going to do is we're going to combine the two RFPs into a single RFP. And that's a proposal. It's not final yet. It's still to be determined. But the proposal is for a single RFP to have an online assessment and learning where hopefully the vendor or system will be able to have assessments, valid and reliable assessments that can be given as a pre and post every 6 months. So that is something that we're hoping for, and we're contemplating that. And then it is not to replace your classroom teachers. It'll be a supplement for if you have students where they just need, like for instance, a foreign language, and your site can't provide foreign language or so forth. So it is not to replace classroom teachers, but it is to supplement the educational program that you have. So there's so that's something that we're probably going to start conceptualizing and working on. So so for right now, Let's Go Learn is still there. You can still use it, and the agreement that we have with Let's Go Learn is, I know some of you utilize their online education, like their lessons. Once a kid has logged on, they have access to it for 1 calendar year, regardless of site. So that's what, and if we do the online learning too, it'll be by student, regardless of site, because some of our kids go from JDEP to YSEP to LTCT, and from LTCT back to YSEP. It doesn't, if we just had one system where the kids could access the system regardless of setting, that'd be great. So that's our vision. Okay. So next is currently we're working on an executive memo to clarify some of our things for day in residential treatment facilities, such as who has fee, for when to do best interest findings, and so forth. So if you have any thoughts or comments that you'd like, or actually questions, send it to me, and then I'll see if our legal team can work on that too. So right now I'm working on it, and then once I have the questions formulated, I'm going to run it by our partners at DHS for their input, because they also have some questions regarding that, like who holds fee, best interest findings, and what about students in the step down process. So so I am now going to unmute anybody for any comments or questions. Any questions or comments? And I'm keeping an eye on the chat too.
Sam, this is Jean, what's your timeline on that?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. A lot has to be determined because, yes, a lot has to be determined. Yes. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so I'm going to mute everybody and I'm going to continue. Okay. I should have done this earlier, darn. As I shared earlier in here, this is a US DOE Title 1D Subpart 1 state agency programs. For us to continue to receive Title 1D, we have to complete a state plan and we have to apply every 3 years. So, so here, and the application has to involve these 19 things. And I shared this before. So what we've, and then this is our form that we have, like Adam has to submit for YSEP and I have to submit for LTCT. So it's quite long and there's a lot of boxes and so forth. So Adam and I, we need information from you all for us to complete our application. So we created a survey where basically you put your name, your organization, email address, phone number, LTCT, and then so forth. And we're asking you to provide assurance, check, and then describe. And then basically all these questions are straight out from what the feds require. Like for instance, describe the procedures consistent to assess education needs of children served on this subpart, provide assurance, making services available for children, youth, and so forth. So that's why the survey asks for describes and provide assurance and so forth. Just like here, we state that every LTCT site has to have a transition coordinator, has to be identified, designates an individual in each affected, and so forth. So it'll be due, so the survey, one per site, and if we're asking that it is due Monday, June 29. So, and then that way I can come for LTCT, there's 39 sites. I can combine all 39 into a single application. Okay, so that is, and then that is so that we can continue to receive our Title 1D funds, and it is for a 3-year period. Yes, I forgot where it says 3 years, but yeah, so we can do it for every 3 years. Yeah, yep. So I'm going to unmute everybody. Any questions on this part? Because this part is very important. Any questions on the Title 1D application for funds?
Sam, where is that regulation in? If you go back to the top, where does that come from?
U.S. Department of Ed. This is straight off from the ESSA guidance. Can you see it? And here's the website, www.2.ed.gov, policy, and so forth. Yeah.
Okay.
And we are subpart 1 because we're.
Hey, Sam, can you send us that link? This is Carolyn from Kairos. Can you send that link to us?
Sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
I can send this link. Yeah. And then this is for subpart 1 now. And then don't get confused with subpart 2 because subpart 2 is local LDAs. Those are programs run by school districts. So these are so they also have an application, and they only have 13 components. Yeah. So we're subpart 1, and that is state agency. Okay. Now, any other questions or requests? And I think I can try to post this in the chat. There, I posted it in the chat so you can see. Okay, and I'm gonna mute everybody again. Okay. Okay. Remember earlier in one of our earlier meetings, we talked about creating a document for new LTCT principals. I already scheduled a meeting with outgoing LTCT principal and an incoming LTCT principal for like an orientation in June. So here's this document, people. If you have any, and these are some of the things that people said that were like things that they should know. And I will expand on like number 11, 12, 13. And I will send this link again. If people have any thoughts on what else to add, like there's a contact list, talk about, least restrictive environment, funding, agreement contract, Title 1D, the dates, talk about the CSPR. And you know what the CSPR, that Excel, that survey that you submit every November with the number broken out by age, ethnicity, the number of kids that earn diplomas, credits, tested 1 grade level above in math and reading, and so forth. And talk about Let's Go Learn, transportation, discipline, restraint seclusion, and others. So if you have any other thoughts that new principals would benefit from, send that to me, or by all means, and then I'll send a link. No, I don't know if I should send a link. Yeah. Let me know. Okay, so next, there was a question. Somebody wanted to know about the CSPR for 1920 that's due in November related to pre-post tests. As of right now, USDOE has not sent out any guidance or notice on flexibility for Title 1D reporting. So, and Let's Go Learn is still there, but I know it's hard to administer. So my thing is just do the best you can in November, submit what reliable and valid data you have, and it is what it is. And then we'll send it to USDOE, and hopefully they'll understand with the situation in Oregon and all 50 states and territories that some of the data for the school year 1920 may not be as clean as they would like. So that was a request from one of our LTCT sites to request to talk about that. And next, I'd like to talk about remind everybody of this statute. And what this statute is, this is the time of year for high school graduations and so forth. And this is a high school diploma statute. And if you look at C, it talks about like for foster kids, if someone's have foster kids, homeless, runaway, if they're ever enrolled in YSEP or JDEP. So basically what this section is saying is if the school district goes beyond the minimum requirements of the Oregon diploma, for instance, like if the Oregon diploma requires 24 credits, your school district requires 26, or if your school district requires foreign language, if a child was a foster kid or was ever YSIP or JDIP, they could go for an Oregon diploma and then not go for your school district diploma because so the school district can award two types, the Oregon diploma or your school district diploma. So we already had an instance where we had to clarify that with a school district, and once we show them that the statute, they say, "Oh, okay, we'll work with the student to get them an Oregon high school diploma," and they won't get their school district diploma. And then what it was I think that school district for their social studies credits required U.S. history, economics, and civics, or U.S. government when the student didn't have all three of those specific social studies requirements. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So I just wanted to remind everybody about this because now's the time of graduations, and so some of our students may not meet the higher requirements of your school district diploma, but if they meet the minimum Oregon diploma requirements, then they should get an Oregon minimum requirement. Okay. Okay, so somebody asked in chat, in private, about the Title I, the application under, so basically, oh, I wonder if I could do this, yes. I'm gonna try and split my screen. So yes, basically a lot of the questions are very similar to what USDOE requires. Like here, we're here. Remember, like, and the way this survey is organized in number 2, number 11, that is the question within the statute. Like for instance, for when making service available, priority given to children likely to complete incarcerated 2-year period, and that is number 2 right here. And then number 13 of the survey, and it's number 11. So here, number 11, designate individual, affected correctional institution with neglect to be responsible transition. That's responsible. And then here, the name of the person, and then like question 15 on the survey is number 13 here. And number 13 provides assurance that is assist in locating alternative programs. You see it is assisting in alternative programs and so forth. So yes, the survey that you'll be providing assurance or providing descriptions for are exactly pretty much from the statute. Like for instance, here, like number 24, it asks for number 1. Yeah, and how you're going to assist the kid. And basically how you're going to assist the kids, let's go learn, And then number 3, describe the program and budget based on to be provided to state an annual budget. And then number 3, describe or to take all children opportunity to. Oh no, darn! I went too far. Yes. Yeah. Yep. Here it is. Describe the program and so forth. Yep. So that's how it is. So yeah. So that's the survey. It's correlated to exactly what the feds require. And the survey, I don't think has a question on maintenance of effort because we will do the maintenance of effort for you. Here, number 7, and I don't think this yes, I intentionally left out the maintenance of effort requirement for Title 1D because that's a little bit more complicated. And I will do that in our application for LTCT. So I intentionally left off number 7 off the survey because I figured that you guys would want me to do it. I'll see you guys do it. Any questions? I'm going to unmute everybody. So the application and survey is pretty straightforward. Any questions? Okay, so someone says, will you give an example of an assurance we can provide? All you need to do is just click the box that you can assure that this will happen at your facility. So that's what it is. So like for instance, like number 17, which is 15 here. 15, provide assurance will work with children with disabilities to meet existing IEP, assurance, So basically, you'll work with children with disabilities and, individualize and return to local school. So you just have to click the box saying that you will do this. So that's what it is. It's not like where, you just have to click the yes, you will do it. So someone asked that in chat. Any other questions or comments? Okay, so again, thank you. Oh, for questions, budget, do we add numbers? Just your basic amount, and then that's where I work behind the scenes to maintain maintenance of effort for Title I, because as some of you guys know, for maintenance of effort for IDA is different from maintenance of effort for Title I. So yeah, so we have to work on that. So yes, so the budget, just put in your contact amounts, and I have all the that information. Any other questions? And you guys are all still unmuted. And again, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule, and thank you for working with the students and at this time where there's a lot of uncertainty. And I know we haven't been as quick to respond, but I've been trying to respond when I can. So, but feel free to call me and so forth. Any other questions or comments? And I know some of you are also at JDEP for 1 p.m. That JDEP will be a little different, but so yeah, because JDEP's fiscal situation is a little different from LTCT. So yeah, so any questions on anything? No, and everyone's unmuted, and I'm checking the chat. Okay, thank you, everybody. I'm going to end our session. And feel free to email me, call me if anyone has questions. Thank you, everybody.